Now, let's talk about a country that's not having a very great week, and that is China with the coronavirus. Over the weekend, the reported death toll of the coronavirus hit 910 people. So it's already killed more people than the SARS outbreak back in 2003. There were 813 killed, and the SARS outbreak was a year-long outbreak. Now, remember, SARS is severe acute respiratory syndrome, and it is also a coronavirus, just like this new novel coronavirus 2019 that's come out of China. The global confirmed cases have hit well over 40,000, and most of those are in China. And outside of China, there are reported to be about 385 cases. Now, the World Health Organization Director General says that, quote, we may only be seeing the tip of the iceberg. And speaking of icebergs, a lot of these outbreaks are occurring, not a lot of them, but some of them are occurring on cruise ships. In fact, there was a cruise ship that is quarantined in Yokohama, Japan, and there are now 136 or more reported cases on board. I mean, we're going by the latest news that Morgan was able to look at before the show, so it may even be more than that now. Well, let me just give you an idea. As of Saturday, there were 61 reported cases. Now there are 136 on this cruise ship. This is the Diamond Princess cruise ship that's now quarantined off of Yokohama, Japan. And, of course, if you've ever been on a cruise ship, as we know, Pat George and I have been on a few, but Pat George has been on a few more than me. Remember how norovirus used to spread through the cruise ships? I remember back when I first went on a cruise, I was worried about that. I was thinking, I'm not going to go on a cruise. I'm going to get sick, norovirus, and it spreads through the entire cruise ship. Well, what do you think coronavirus is going to do? Those poor people sitting off the coast of Japan are just, they're sitting in a quarantined area with a bunch of sick people, and imagine what's happening. I mean, all that sick air, if it's airborne, is flowing through the ship's air control systems and the food and everything else. I mean, it's really, that's one place I would not want to be, is stuck on a cruise ship.
I'm supposed to go in April. I don't think I'm doing it.
Well, hopefully you bought travel insurance, right, on that one. There's also a cruise ship, a Royal Caribbean, the Anthem of the Seas, has been quarantined off New Jersey.
That's a big new one, too.
That's a big new one, and there are supposedly at least 12 people on that one who may be sick. But now let's flip back, talking about the official numbers. Over 910 people killed officially, and well over 40,000 cases worldwide officially. But what came out over the weekend? Well, a number of things. First of all, I don't know if you saw it last week, but Zero Hedge, that news site that can't be named, that we love, reported there's actually a news site in China that for a little bit of time let some numbers go up, and that's Tencent News in China. And this was also reported by the Taiwan Times, that Tencent apparently inadvertently released what may be the actual numbers of infections and deaths in China, and those, by the way, were astronomically higher than the official figures. This happened on February 1st. According to Tencent News, there were 24,589 deaths in China so far, so almost 25,000 deaths, and over 150,000 confirmed cases. So way more than what's being admitted to. Now, over the weekend, an exiled Chinese billionaire reported that he believes, based on information that he's getting out of Wuhan, that the death toll is actually closer to 50,000 people already killed in China from coronavirus, and maybe 1.5 million have been infected to date. Now, other things that we can look at to say, well, what in the world's going on in Wuhan? Is that true? Could there be 50,000 dead people? Well, first of all, if you don't know this, the town of Chengdu, which is 14.4 million people, is now also under lockdown. It's under this house arrest quarantine that's been spreading across the entire country of China. And we understand parts of Beijing are even under quarantine already. There are over 400 million people under quarantine in China. Think about that. 400 million people. It's almost half the country. It's at least a third of the country. Almost half are under quarantine. I mean, that's way up from the last time we talked about it when there were something like 60 million people under quarantine. So you say this isn't spreading, and China's reporting marginal increases in people that have this virus and marginal increases in the death toll? That just doesn't match up with what else we're seeing. Another interesting thing I saw over the weekend, and this is pretty disturbing. the people who are getting videos out and who are reporting out of Wuhan, and by the way, these people are often disappearing after they start this kind of reporting, they're reporting, and online weather data shows there's a massive release of sulfur dioxide gas around Wuhan. Well, what does that come from? It comes from the burning of organic matter. They're reporting that the crematoriums around Wuhan have been burning 24/7, burning all these bodies. In fact, you can find videos that show that there's a strange fog that settled down over Wuhan, China. And again, this is displayed on weather sites reporting this kind of information, that there's a massive cloud of sulfur dioxide gas just sitting over Wuhan from all of the burned bodies. Now, meanwhile, if you listen to the Chinese ambassador on The Nation over the weekend, he says this is all about racial discrimination and xenophobia, and these are nothing but crazy conspiracy theories. Well, China may be able to control the news, but it obviously can't control this coronavirus. I'm Morgan Streetman, and that's the way I see it. Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.